currently work as a teaching assistant for secondary school. I work with kids with SEN needs, so special education needs. Can range from like autism to ADHD, and there's a new one that I even learnt myself like in September called DLD, like developmental language disorder, which is like on the surface it just looks like the person just has like ADHD or autism, but it's just like they growing up they had issues understanding how language works and communicating and stuff, so that affects them in things like maths. They may seem like they're dopey or they're not concentrating, but it's just the way they understand language is bad. And I've got another child that I work with. It's got a thing called global delay.
What's that?
So,
Koji, you should know. Why do you look so confused?
I don't know what global delay is. What's global delay?
global delay, in a nutshell, is just their development has been stagnated a little bit. So he's 13 and he's got the mannerisms of like a 8-year-old, 9-year-old and things like that. He cries over things that aren't really, you shouldn't really cry about. Complains about things that you wouldn't really think someone would complain about at that age. So it's quite fun to work
Probably
with.
just the developmental delay, isn't it?
Say that again, please. No, speak.
I know a few people.
The cameraman is large enough.
Go on, camerawoman. Go on.
No, nothing.
You don't have nothing to say? Alright, cool, we can talk later. But yeah, cognitive development, like she said, things like that. So, yeah, like I said, it was fun. No 2 days are the same, and I feel like I'm growing as a person working with these kids.
So do you find it weird when you have kids calling you like sir and stuff like that?
Do you know what the weirdest thing is, right? So I work with Year 9. Ooh. Bro, none of them seem to hear when we play football.
Really?
So you can't even chat to them like that?
You can't chat to them like that about that. And then they all, obviously drill is their thing. Like the weirdest thing I ever heard at school is me and one of the other, like we were talking about 50 Cent. And then they were just like, oh, that guy's copying Pop Smoke. And I was just like, wow. Like another thing, let me think of another thing that they kind of find stuff like grime, like rubbish. Obviously, depends on who you are. Some people don't like grime, but to them it's nothing. Drill is their thing, like drill, that is just their thing. A few of my students, all they listen to is drill. That's just their thing, completely. So sometimes I'm in music lessons, and their teacher was trying to explain to them about how all pop songs are related to one single song called Pachelbel's Canon. Okay. So it's just like a repetitive. So you know how a beat, when you listen to like a rap song and the instrumental just repetitive, he was trying to explain to them that Pachelbel's Canon is literally the basis of all pop songs. And they weren't really trying to hear it. They weren't trying to hear it at all. But it's just that they're at that age. I reckon as they get older, they'll become to appreciate other types of music.
Fair enough. So you know them kids at that age, that's like at the age where people tend to develop, like puberty's hitting and people like, boys start to like the girls start to like the boys. Do you see that kind of stuff? Like a lot of hormones?
Not really, you know.
You know?
Year 9, they're a bit immature. Some of the boys are a bit immature. Like if you try to kind of hint about a girl to them, they'll be like, nah, F that girl, etc, etc. And that girl's, she's dead, she's stiff. I'm not really trying. And do you know what the cliche where they say girls mature quicker than boys after working in a school? I completely agree 100%. Like
really?
Boys are immature.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a cliche. It might just be.
What, fact?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? Yeah, well, unfortunately, these things are kind of subjective, so you can't base them as fact. But she's got a strong point, to be fair. But yeah, boys really are quite immature. I wouldn't lie. Like some of them just stupid immature, like stupidly immature. And I was thinking, because I went to all boys school, so we were quite immature. But it's unexpected because we were all boys. But in this school, it's mixed. And some of the stuff that these kids are doing, I'm just like, wow, you're around girls. Why are you trying to pattern up a little bit?
So you expect them to be more mature because there's girls around?
Yeah, like you expect them to be like a little bit more like.
What's the dumbest thing you've seen?
I've seen a lot of dumb stuff, man. I can't lie. Right, one kid. Farted basically, innit?
Yeah.
And then started giggling, and he farted like blatantly, and then he did it again, and then he did it again. Like you'd expect him to think, oh, after the first time he may be trying to hold him, but he's just it's a bit weird, really. Another thing that kids do, like they fight with the girls all the time.
Like pop.
No, like arguing with the girls, and I'm thinking, look, just let it go. But obviously, I'm seeing the world through like the eyes of a 24-year-old, so maybe I'm expecting too much of a 13-year-old. But it's just they're a bit weird. And the young generation are they snitch. Like they snitch like it's they're drinking water. Like, they snitch like every little thing is, oh sir, look what this he missed, look what this, and I'm thinking, wow, like don't there anything, like is there no code anymore, the young generation? But I don't know, I sound like an old man just like, you know, complaining about how young people do stuff, but that's it really.
Imagine that's what our teachers taught us when we were doing that, you know, as well, like
Little shits, innit?
Literally.
Bruh. So do you see yourself in any of those kids though?
you see anybody like, yeah, that was me
Yeah,
when I was
you know,
young,
younger,
40.
Yeah, there's a couple of attention seekers there that I see myself in. I see another, like, there's one kid that I keep work with, I'm gonna call him X just to protect him. Nah, this guy's jumping off the walls and stuff. Like, I can't lie, like.
But you did parkour and that?
Nah, as in like, man, he'll be in class, just like jump, shaking and stuff, like can't really concentrate. Obviously he's got special education needs, so there's a little bit of sympathy and kind of empathy for him, but it's just like he's bare excited, bare. And there's another kid who just loves shouting out in class, loves arguing back. He gets caught, no miss, it wasn't me, but the world knew it was him. Like it's just I see yourself in a few of the kids, So that's why I reckon, because I'm still in my 20s, I'm a little bit more empathetic with them and sympathetic with them in terms of, excuse me, I understand what they're going through, and I can kind of, what's the word, resonate with them, which I find quite weird, because when I was in school, the teachers, like, it seemed like they were in a different world to us, like, they didn't really try to understand us, so I feel like I tried to understand them a little bit.
That's it, man. I like Timi though, all grown in that, all mature, like.
Yeah, he was mature before, it was just funny, innit?
I've been in Timi before, like, this guy's a funny kid, man.
It happens, so I'm trying to show them the funny side to two of them, but obviously they need to fight DC 22.
Come on, do you have any words to say? VP? RM?
Speechless.
Oh, she's not buying it. She's not buying it. I can't
Okay, so like these. So would you say? So you know how you're saying you see yourself being sympathetic and empathetic to the children.
Yeah.
The type of teachers you had, are you surrounded by those type of teachers?
That's a good question.
Or are there more teachers like you? Obviously, you might have gone to school in a different
I don't
area.
know, because I can only judge it on what I've seen this year, and the first part you said the teachers that what did you say?
So the teachers that you
similar
had,
to
are they
what I
like
had.
the ones you done?
Yeah, they're similar to what I had. But the only reason why I'm putting an asterisk behind it is because this is the COVID-19 year. Like, there's no such thing as sets anymore. For like year 7, 8 and 9, well, just in my school, because
Wait, what?
so in year 7, 8 and 9
Sex.
So you said
Sex.
no, sorry,
Oh,
sex.
You
sex.
imagine the cup,
Yeah.
bro. Come on, the kids there,
Yeah.
man.
Like, sorry. Oh, that was a Sunday as well. But sorry, you tried to. By the way, there's no such thing as
isn't that problematic? Not problematic, but a bit like
ability-based classes.
Yeah.
So it is very. I thought it was problematic at the start.
But do you need sex though?
yes.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no.
No, but sometimes these. Okay. People stereotype like certain kids and just think, oh, they're not good enough, but they actually are just messing about.
Yeah, true.
No, but then that's the
Like
inability
the
for the institution to put them in the right sex. Sex is not based on behaviour.
Yeah, but sometimes behaviour impacts how someone perceives someone.
Yeah,
They might
okay,
actually be capable of more, but then you're just like, oh yeah,
100%.
bottom set, he messes around, but he's actually, he's alright.
So that's down to a teacher's bias then.
Yeah, definitely.
That's true, but the thing is, based on evidence from my school, I believe that what we experience as kids has kind of changed. They're a bit more empathetic, but still they're not completely understanding of kids. Especially that a lot of the teachers from my school, I think I might be wrong, but a lot of them came from advantaged backgrounds and stuff, private schools, etc., etc. Where a lot of these kids
Are not better.
Yeah, they're not in that situation. Some of them have tough home backgrounds, but not having sex is a bit weird because you have some kids who are incredibly smart and able, and then we have kids completely at the bottom end of the table. So you've got like your you got your Man City, no, not even that. You got your Tottenhams at the moment, and then you got Fulham.
God forbid.
You got Fulham in it. So a lot of the Fulhams, they just can't keep up with the class, and the teacher has to sometimes slow down, or sometimes a lot of the teachers don't slow down. They just have to get through the lesson onto the next lesson to the next lesson. And the reason because they don't have sets is because they are in year group bubbles, so you don't mix with other year groups because of COVID-19, and then you stay in your class for the whole day.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, and teachers will come to your lesson and just teach a lesson in their class. Which
is that was working?
Yeah, it's very restrictive. It's very restrictive. So, for example, in science, you don't have that many practical sessions, which is very, obviously, for a lot of kids who don't really understand science and don't even like science, learning all theory.
It's not helping.
Yeah, it's not helping at all. It's very boring. So they have like 1 or 2 practical sessions, which is obviously.
But you can't really do all the Bunsen burner things and
because the Bunsen burner's on a different floor, and the different floor is a different year group zone. So you're not allowed in that year group, and you're not allowed to go to that classroom. So that is a very, very restrictive and quite annoying for the kids. Well, I'm quite annoyed for them. But what else is there that happens apart from the teachers moving at incredible paces where the less able kids can keep up with them? Sometimes the kids that are at the top of the class, they're stagnated because the teacher has to explain some of the most kind of basic concepts to others, and it's just quite annoying for them, and they can't really be challenged. They can't really be challenged in their ability.
So do you think there's any kind of alternative to it?
Well, most schools are running on government's advice, so any alternative is up to the government, really. Anyone can have, like, everybody could be prime minister. Everyone can say, oh, this should happen, but there's no right or wrong way to deal with COVID-19, because if you look at Sweden, like, they've done a madness. They basically didn't they had lockdown measures in, but it's not similar to what we have, and they're doing okay. Whereas America, like,
we don't talk about them and
he kind of, like, Donald Trump was just like, yeah, each state do whatever they want, and some states are doing okay, but it's crazy over there. Like, they've got a stupid amount of cases. So there's whatever alternative it could have, people will find ways to easily scrutinise it, and that's just the way it is at the moment of the year with the world COVID-19.